Hello, everyone, and welcome to Socially Awkward. I'm Joshua Otero, and I'm here to actually discuss a little continuation of what we talked about last time dealing with social awkwardness. Thanks to everyone who actually contacted me and gave me some opinions and some little bits of information you guys want me to cover. I actually got a message from someone on my Twitter. Thank you very much. And what we really want to discuss today was essentially social awkwardness on the other aspect. Is I talk about being looked upon as being you know um, you know being um, arrogant or looking arrogant because you don't talk to anybody, or you're socially awkward and shy and you just don't know how to handle it. But I want to touch base on the other side of social awkwardness, which is actually where your social awkwardness, in the guise of being scared of making social faux pas or mistakes that will make you end up looking like an idiot or a fool, or looking like you don't know how to form sentences and things like that. And you by doing so you end up thinking, like overthinking actually, in a very negative mindset. And your mind just ends up getting just anxiety riddled from it, and you can't articulate your words properly. Um, and it and half the time when people tend to get into that mindset, um, they usually end up choosing silence, because it's like, why make yourself a fool um, and say anything at all? And yeah, and usually in that tense state, you usually end up pushing yourself to the point where you're just kind of like awkward laughing, or just any simple just responses, like and just head nodding, and just like you just agreeing or disagreeing, and then just kind of finding the nearest exit. And another subject matter that was brought up to me was this subject in particular, and me being understanding this is being dense to subtle social cues, such as flirting, sarcasm, and double entendres. People, some people who are socially awkward just might not get that. It's they'll go right over the head. Flirting is a major one for me, because I honestly, if you flirt with me, I have no clue that you are indeed flirting with me. I'm so dense that I just, like with most people, you just take it off as you're being really super nice, or you're really talkative. Um, I think I had that happen like once or twice, and only to find out a friend of mine was like, she's flirting with you really hard. I'm like, she was flirting? I have no clue. And I know a lot of other socially awkward people who end up also having that issue. And I also know others whom they don't understand sarcasm. They say sarcasm just doesn't. It, they take it as face value instead of actually being sarcastic. Um, I think some of my studies about some Japanese cultures, that some of them also don't have the understanding of sarcasm, because they just like I'll totally be there, but in actuality, they took it serious. It's like, well, why aren't you here? It's like, you said you'd be here. It's like, no, I was being sarcastic. I was being mean, and and they never got that. So there are people who just don't get sarcasm. So I've been around enough. I have enough close friends where uh, um, sarcasm and double entendres, It's almost like a second language to them. So I'm just so exposed to it. I kind of get the sarcasm because there's those subtle social cues. It's like when they use the tone of voice, it comes off as, yeah, completely. It's like they'll show that disinterest on their face, but what their words say is completely different, and that social cue just goes over people's heads. And same for double entendres. Some people might be talking one way, speaking another when they're meaning something completely different. Yeah, those subtlety things not a lot of people can get. But yeah, I essentially just cut wise to that. Yeah, and I actually did a little bit of research because I'm bad at seeing the signs of flirting. Pardon. So yeah, like I stated, for people who don't recognize flirting, it just comes off as being like super friendly or very talkative, because they don't have the knowledge or have the knowing cues of essentially showing little signs of interest from the opposite party, and if the socially awkward person doesn't pick up on the cues, the opposite party will feel like their feelings are hurt, or they don't. It's like the feelings weren't returned, and because of that, they'll either get hurt or angry, and the interested party will end up resigning themselves to just moving on as if they never were interested, even though they may hold interest. They just don't know how to approach the flirtee with respect, and they don't know how to respond to that. And they just kind of clam up because they don't know what to do. Because they want to engage back, and if they're really interested in even flirt back, but they wouldn't know how to. And because of that, they also don't want to embarrass themselves in front of the person that they may have a crush on, and they're flirting with them, and they want to flirt back, but they don't know how. Because they don't recognize the social cues, and even if they were to, if they engage in the mindset of being flirted with, their mind goes into a spiral, just spiraling out of control, jumping to conclusions, assuming situations before reading them, and setting them into a babbling, nervous wreck half the time. And they can send the wrong message altogether, like someone's just being flirtatious when they're being flirty, when they're just being friendly, or vice versa. And really, it's I know some. I'm not talking about all. I'm just saying some that I know. When it comes to that subject matter, they end up somehow ruining the chance that they had to try to actually get with them. That's why we're always so hesitant to engage. And I know there's a lot of people who have no issue with that situation and can read cues like "no tomorrow." And it's just like, just go for it. Just be forward. Just make your decision. And for a lot of us, it's like there's a lot of things running through our mind, and just making us. We have a tendency to overthink things, so it's just like, well, I don't want to ruin. I don't know if I should. I don't know if they feel the same way. I mean, of course, a simple resolution is just to be straightforward and tell them the answer, but it's the going about doing so that becomes difficult. This is just a small little update with what happened last week. talking about this, and I would like to know more of you guys' opinions on it, or even your thoughts, or even new suggestions on anything else covering with social awkwardness. Just leave a comment down below, and or if you're listening to this podcast, you can reach me at my Twitter, jotero01. Yeah, I want to further investigate the life of being socially awkward. So, join us on being socially awkward together. And be sure to subscribe if you like listening to this podcast. And I also have other art stuff if you like to check that out too. So check out the other videos that I'll probably leave somewhere here on this video as well. So alrighty, take care and hang tight.